Why do we hold on to anger? Someone hurt us. They lied. They betrayed us. We hold on to the memory like a weapon, waiting for the moment to strike back. We think our anger punishes them, but there is an ancient saying, holding a grudge is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. This was the pain chosen by a man named Darius. 10 years ago, his partner stole his business and ruined his reputation. Darius vowed revenge. From that day forward, he carried a jagged, black stone in his hand everywhere he went. He squeezed it tight. The stone cut his palm. His hand was scarred and bleeding. He could not shake hands with a friend. He could not hold a flower for a loved one. He could only hold his hate. In his mind, he was strong, a man of conviction. But in reality, he was a prisoner of his own rage. His quest for vengeance had consumed a decade of his life. His mind was a battlefield, replaying the betrayal over and over. Every morning he awoke. The first thing he felt was not the sun on his face, but the sharp edges of the stone digging into his flesh. His nights were restless, filled with dreams of confrontation. His health suffered, his relationships withered. The world around him was full of color and life. But all Darius could see was the red of his anger and the blackness of his chosen burden. The stone was not just an object, it was his identity. It was the focus of all his energy, all his thoughts. He believed that one day this stone would be the instrument of his justice. Finally, after years of searching, he learned his former partner lived across a wide, formidable river. This was the river of Lethe, known in old tales as the river of forgetting. It was said that its waters could wash away memories. But Darius did not want to forget. He wanted to cross. He arrived at the riverbank, tired and weathered, his gaze fixed on the distant shore. There, sitting calmly by the flowing water, was an old man. The man, whose name was Oren, was methodically picking stones from the riverbed, washing them in the current, and placing them gently on the bank. His movements were slow, deliberate, and peaceful. He seemed as much a part of the landscape as the river itself. Darius approached him, his voice rough from disuse. He held up his wounded hand, displaying the black stone as if it were a badge of honor. "Old man," he commanded, "help me cross. I must deliver this stone to the man who ruined me." Master Oren did not look at the far shore. He did not look at Darius's face. His gaze fell upon the traveler's hand. He saw the mangled flesh, the old scars layered with fresh wounds, the constant, slow trickle of blood that stained the ground at Darius's feet. "That stone is heavy, traveler," Oren said, his voice as calm and steady as the river. "And it is hot." Darius nodded, a flicker of pride in his tired eyes. "It burns me every day," he confirmed. "It has burned me for 10 years, but I will not drop it. Not until he pays for what he did." He squeezed the stone tighter, and a fresh wave of pain shot up his arm. He winced, but held his ground. Oren picked up another smooth, gray pebble from the water. He watched the current swirl around his fingers before he spoke again. "Where is your enemy now, traveler?" Darius gestured impatiently toward the opposite bank. "He is over there. He lives in a grand villa on the other side of this water. He is rich, he is happy, he has a family. He has forgotten me entirely." The words came out laced with a bitterness that had been fermenting for a decade. Oren finally lifted his eyes and met Darius's gaze. There was no judgment in them, only a deep, profound sadness. So Oren began softly, He is sleeping soundly in his warm bed, while you are standing here, bleeding in the cold. He is feasting with his family, while you are starving your own soul. Oren paused, letting the truth of his words settle in the air between them. You are drinking poison every single day, Darius, and expecting him to die. The accusation struck Darius with the force of a physical blow. He opened his mouth to argue, to defend his righteous quest, but no words came. Oren continued, his voice gentle yet firm. You believe you are his judge, preparing to deliver his sentence. But look at yourself. You have become your own jailer. That stone is your prison cell. As long as you hold it, your hand is not free. It cannot build a new business. It cannot embrace a new love. It cannot even feed yourself properly. You have chained yourself to a memory. Oren stood up and walked closer to Darius, his eyes never leaving the wounded hand. Let me tell you what forgiveness truly is. Forgiveness is not for him. He may never deserve it. Forgiveness is for you. It is not saying what he did was right, or that it did not cause you pain. It is simply saying that you are too valuable to keep burning yourself for his mistakes. It is the act of dropping the hot coal, not because he deserves relief, but because you deserve to be unburned. The past is a place of reference, not a place of residence. For the first time in 10 years, Darius truly looked at his hand. He saw not a symbol of his strength, but a monument to his suffering. The mangled flesh, the twisted fingers, the deep, infected cuts. It was a ruin, a self-inflicted wound he had tended with obsessive care, day after day. A bolt of lightning shot through his mind. 10 years. 10 years, his enemy had been living a life of comfort, completely unaware and unaffected by the justice Darius was carrying. The man in the villa had not suffered a single moment from this stone. Only Darius had suffered. The anger that had felt like power, like a righteous fire, now felt like a foolish, heavy burden. His quest for revenge had not been a weapon aimed at his enemy. It had been a cage he had built around himself. Tears welled in his eyes, not tears of rage, but tears of grief for the decade he had lost, for the joy he had sacrificed, for the life he had refused to live. He looked from his ruined hand to the calm, clear eyes of the old man. Slowly, painfully, Darius stood at the water's edge. He tried to unclench his fist. It was agony. His muscles had been locked in the same position for so long that his hand had forgotten how to be open. With a final, ragged breath, he forced his fingers apart. The jagged, black stone, slick with his own blood, fell from his grasp. It hit the surface of the river with a small splash and disappeared into the current, sinking into the depths of the river of forgetting. The silence that followed was immense. Darius stared at the spot where it had vanished. Then he knelt and plunged his empty, wounded hand into the cool, clean water. The sting was sharp, but it was a cleansing pain, a healing pain. He watched as the river washed away the blood and grime of a decade. He did not look across the river to the villa on the other side. He felt no desire to cross. His quest was over. He slowly stood up, turned his back on the river, and began the long walk back toward his own home. His hand was empty, scarred, and weak. But for the first time in 10 years, it was free. Free to work, free to create, and free to heal. The moral is that holding a grudge hurts you far more than it hurts the person you hate. Forgiveness is not about condoning the wrong or forgetting the pain. It is about dropping the hot coal of anger so that your own hands are finally free to heal and build a better future.